5 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Graves. It's obvious that when Chairman Graves goes home at night, it's not Le Bon Temps Roulette, it's not beignets, it's not jambalaya, it's absorbing and reading all of this stuff. And he's got it in his mind and his gut and can explain it well. He's been a great subcommittee chair. I was so looking forward to him being my ranking member next year. It's a great loss of him not going to be here to do that. He's covered the whole terrain, and I want to thank the witnesses for being here. We did pass a bipartisan infrastructure bill and FAA, a reauthorization bill. It was truly bipartisan. We called the infrastructure bill bipartisan. It was not that bipartisan. There were a couple of folks here. But the FAA reauthorization was, and this committee did a great job in getting it passed, but we do need to implement it because there are shortages of employees. The bottlenecks that we've seen have been described. Airline pilots, we need more and more. Air traffic controllers, they're behind. They get slowed up during the pandemic, and we need to train more of those. Aviation maintenance technicians, inspectors, designated pilot examiners, LaTeX. All those areas need work. Shortage of these vital members of the workforce have resulted in subpar experiences across the ecosystem of aviation, and our FAA reauthorization bill will allow us to come back and improve those areas. We also have gaps in minority hiring all through the aviation industry. In my community, which is a majority African American, and Federal Express is the home of is based there, there's great opportunities for African Americans to get employment, and they need to have training opportunities, which this bill will help with, and we need to urge and see to it that the workforce looks more like America and gives people opportunities to move up the ladder. Air traffic controllers said it was really the pandemic that hit them, but there's been problems with wages and retirements and all of that. Historical staffing challenges facing air traffic organization technicians, such as increased workload without additional resources training, have exacerbated this bottleneck. This is why our FAA reauthorization bill includes provisions to maximize controller hiring, improve staffing models, and expand the FAA's resources to meet the evolving needs of our air traffic system. My district of Memphis needs more designated examiners or DPEs. That's a need. DPEs provide required practical tests and check rides for aspiring pilots, but their uneven distribution throughout the country and the limited incentives to serve as a DPE can pose scheduling challenges for pilot candidates. The FAA reauthorization will help streamline the process of obtaining a check ride by creating an FAA office to facilitate national coordination of DPEs and improving the agency's research tool to provide more information about the credentials, qualifications, and availability of designated pilot examiners. Mental health is another issue that directly impacts the aviation workforce and the safety of our aviation system. Being up there in that tower for long hours and the tension and stress that you get, it's not easy. Pilots and air traffic controllers often do not get the help they need for mental health issues due to the consequences of speaking up or seeking treatment. That needs to be corrected. They need to get the medical help that they might need because that's a stressful job. Our aviation sector must better support mental health of our aviation workforce to ensure public safety. That's what they're looking out for. The FAA reauthorization bill will require the establishment of an aeromedical innovation and modernization working group, which will review and make recommendations to the agency's medical processes, including policies on mental health, education, and outreach. Creates a task group to monitor and evaluate the FAA's efforts to assist and provide more resources for aviation workforce. A lot more work needs to be done, and I commend Chairman Graves for holding this hearing on this subject. I thank the witnesses for being here, and I'm looking forward to your testimony. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen, for the majority of your statement. Looks like we're not visited by some folks, so I now like to welcome our witnesses and thank you for being here today. We're going to do a few quick unanimous consent.
Briefly, I'd like to take a moment to explain our lighting system to our witnesses. If its light is green, forward, go, just like in a car. On the gas, you're going. But when it turns to yellow, you got to slow down because the policemen are looking at you and might give you a ticket. You got to slow down. If it gets to be red, you might get a citation, so stop. I ask unanimous consent the witnesses' full statements be included in the record.
Without objection.
I ask unanimous consent the record of today's hearing remain open until such time as our witnesses provide answers to any questions that may be submitted to them in writing.
Without objection, so ordered.
And And I also ask unanimous consent that the record remain open for 15 days for any additional comments, information submitted by the members or witnesses to be included in the record of today's hearing.
Without objection, so ordered. Thank you. As your written testimony has been made part of the